What's up, everybody? Today I am going to go through and show you what is on my desk. I am a junior web development engineer, and currently I'm working remotely. I'm working from home. I also have an office available to me, but currently it's closed. Normally that's where I do work, and that office is different than my home office here, but I want to show you kind of tools of the trade. If you haven't seen what a developer's workspace is before, I'll just kind of walk you through what that is. So to clarify, this is my home office and I'm working remotely. My work office space is not a full office to myself, it's just a shared open area. And in that shared open area, I actually have an adjustable desk, which goes up and down, which is great because I love standing to work, but I'll actually jump into my office here, the rest of it, and I will show you to start off. This is my desk, and this unfortunately is not adjustable, but it is a pretty nice desk. Without getting too much into it, it's made out of butcher block. It's something I custom made. It's just stained butcher block, and it has some legs that we got off of Etsy that we just bolted onto it. So I really like it. It's nice and sturdy, and it's really long, and I made it that way so that we could have two workstations here, even though right now it only has one. But I'll skip past that and I'll go to the rest of the office here. So if you haven't noticed, this is the office. It's in a daylight basement. It's not very big, but that's okay. It works great for me. I like the walls nice and white here because I like to kind of have that nice clean feeling. I don't like a lot of clutter on my desk. As you can see, I have quite a few items, but I try to keep it pretty clean because I kind of hold to the mantra of messy desk, messy mind. I've heard that once and I kind of stuck to it. So thanks to a guy I know named Thomas, I think is where I heard that from. So anyway, start off with the chair. It's just an old office chair, but it's quite comfortable. It's got a nice adjustable back. It's got cushion when you sit down on it. It's got the spring that's inside of the, or hydraulic spring that's inside of the hydraulics underneath the chair. So when you sit down to it, it gives with adjustable arms that go up and down, so it's quite comfortable. I really like this chair, although it's quite beat up, and I definitely need a new one, and I got it surplus from somewhere, but it still works well for me. My laptop, it's a MacBook Pro. This came from work, so I did not provide this. It is latest model, or last year's latest model when I was hired, MacBook Pro. It's a 13-inch. I would love to have a larger screen. You can see it's quite small, but that means it's portable. I'd prefer a 15. I just like to be able to see a little bit better. My monitors are nothing fancy. They're just real old school Dell. I don't know the name of them, but they are HD. I think they might be 720p or something like that. They're really not that fancy. They have a bunch of inputs for them and they're quite heavy, but I have them on this arm setup in the back there, if you can see. And I like them like this, because they're easy to adjust, and then as you can notice underneath them there's a lot of space. So I have my laptop kind of sitting underneath there, my keyboard sitting underneath there. I can scoot it back if I want, and then these are real easy to move around and adjust. And this is not the world's nicest monitor arm setup. Let me move this here. There we go. And it's not the world's nicest monitor arm setup, but it wasn't super expensive and I'm happy with it. It does the job. And then in the back, just standard cable clamping. I don't like cables that go all over the place. And if you notice down here, if I could do more clamping on there, I would, or more cable management, I would, but I really like to have all those put together nicely so that they're not getting tangled with my feet and whatnot. So back up to here. So my monitor comes off of my MacBook, and I am using this adapter for it. Here, it's just one of these adapters that you can get that goes into USB-C, and then it's got some ports on it. So that's how I have that ported into my monitor, so I can have two screens. I actually would like three screens, but I don't have it set up that way. Off of that, I just have a Bluetooth mouse because I generally don't like cords and mice. And then also I have a wireless headset that I prefer to use just for listening to music and taking phone calls and stuff like that. Don't really like to have the cords, although I've used a lot of corded headsets with microphones before. And that is pretty much the workspace setup that I have right here. Other things I have on my desk pretty standard, a bunch of drinks. If you are curious, normally I drink hibiscus tea all day long. Hibiscus tea is great because it's not caffeinated, so I don't have to worry if I'm drinking too much caffeine. And then, of course, I have my standard energy drink that I am always trying to drink less and less of, but generally kind of depend on a little bit too much. Other things in the office, this is somewhere where I sometimes will record some videos from, just put my laptop there and set my phone up. Standard printer you got there. I got an extra chair. Mostly I use this chair to put my feet up on, to be honest, but every once in a while my wife will come down here and work on it. It also tends to collect a lot of shirts and sweatshirts. But that's pretty much what that chair is there for. And in the background here, on the other side of the office, and if you have been watching this video, this is quite a narrow room, and that's because it's a daylight basement, and that's how big this room is. So it's narrow. It works great for an office, but it does not work great for getting in and out of all the time. But that's okay. It's only one person in here. This is just a big old whiteboard. I think this is like 4 feet by 3 feet or something like that. I bought this when I was learning whiteboard algorithms. I still use it for that. And right now I use it for a lot of note taking. You can see what's on my desk. That was one of my latest video ideas. And I'll just kind of write down stuff throughout the day. I try to keep it pretty clean. I don't have a lot of stuff on there, although the list will grow from time to time, and then I'll have to take a screenshot of it and then erase it and whatnot. So turning around here, I got a cell phone charger down below, just a bag, just some electronics in it I should probably clean up. Standard, this is an extra monitor and just standard kind of small cabinet. That is my work bag. Pretty simple. Usually I just throw it in my office when I get home from work, and that way I can easily access my laptop if I need to do any work from home, or if I'm working on the algorithms. I usually try to keep all my code on one computer there, and then just a little window that goes outside. And that's pretty much it. Pretty standard small office setup. One thing also I'll show you that I kind of thought was neat, but I've got dim lights in here, so I'll dim all the way down. You can see that light in the background there. Let me turn these back up here. And by the way, if you haven't set up dim lights in a home office, you definitely should do it. It's not too hard, but lights on a dimmer, it's really great if you are having problems with your eyes and things are starting to bother you. It's great to dim those down a little bit, and I usually start my day out with these pretty far down because I'm just, getting up in the morning, it's dark out, and I just prefer to have kind of a nice gentle wake up that way. But what I was talking about in the back here, I just got one of these simple LED setups that I just slapped on the back of my monitor. And the reason I did that is to kind of backlight the area behind these, because I was noticing my screens were messing with my eyes a little bit because I didn't have any light behind them when they were on. And I find that helps out a little bit. I can change colors and stuff like that, but I never really do. But that's pretty much it. So I hope you enjoyed. The difference between this and my office setup is not really all that large. I still have basically all the same things on that desk. I don't have a lot of toys or anything like that because generally I just don't play with those types of things. I do fidget quite a bit, but I usually fidget with things like, like gum wrappers or my coffee mug or cables and stuff like that. But I just don't really play with a lot of toys. Like I said, I like to try to keep things clean, and when I wipe down my desk quite often. And when I get back in the office, one day I will make a tour of my actual office workspace. But it looks pretty similar to this, actually. Pretty close to this. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I would sure appreciate a subscribe. And otherwise, I will see you next time.